What's up guys, it's your favorite Key Coach. Welcome to another student before and after video. This one's going to be a good one. Let's go do this thing. So welcome back to the channel guys. If you guys are new to Key Golf Japan, we do a bunch of videos like this every single month. So what you got to go do is hit that little red subscribe button, smash the like button, leave a comment, share the video. It really does help. And let's hop into the first part of this video. Alright guys, for this student before and after video, we got a great one for you today. So this one we're going to take a look at a student who had a pretty steep club shaft in transition, the typical kind of over the top move, very steep club shaft, cut across the ball, chicken wing. How do we get rid of, right? Because I know there's a bunch of you guys out there that have similar motions, so let's walk you through what we did. So real quickly, if we take a look at the top of the swing position, if you look at the left of your screen right here, this is going to be the before. Now what you can see here is the player has a very, what I call flat arm position at the top of the swing. That just means arms are kind of down here as opposed to maybe above the shoulder line or on the shoulder line, right? Now another thing that he has is he has a little bit of extension in the lead wrist. So extension is just this little motion right here, right? Cupping, you've probably heard it called. But he has a position in the wrist that I believe in transition is going to help him open up the club face more as well as steepen the shaft, which for us is not our preference. So let's go take a look and show you how he's doing that. So if we take a look in transition, as you can see, the club head, or excuse me, the club shaft and club head technically start to steepen, and he gets into this position 5 where the club shaft is very, very steep, right? So how do you measure that? Just draw a line down here and you can see the club shaft is very, very steep. Now, why do we not prefer that? Well, typically when we see the club head get into that position, it's really got two options. It can continue to go that way, which I think is probably the better option than trying to shallow it late. Or, like I just said, you can try to shallow it late. So typically you see players who are steep in transition, they either start shallowing late, which I think is probably the worst thing you could do from there, or they continue to steepen it, which I think is the better motion, but obviously not ideal. So as you see this player from here, he continues to steepen it, which again, I think is the better thing he should be doing if he was going to keep that position there. And then you see from here, he gets this little kind of chopping motion, right? He's throwing angles, ulnar deviating, and then cutting across the ball. And then right around here, you can see that classic little chicken wing. So let's go walk you through what we did from the top of the swing and the after. And we're going to show you exactly what we changed to get this player using the club shaft pitch in the correct fashion. All right, so taking a look at the after swing, there's really a couple things I want you guys to take note. The first thing is arm position. Yes, it's still maybe a little flat, so it's a little bit below the shoulder line. Not ideal, but again, I think it's okay, and it's a little bit better than what it was. Now, the big change you're going to see, if we kind of zoom in here real quick, you can take a look at the lead wrist. We got it a little bit more flexed, or a little bit more flexion at the top of the golf swing. Now, the reason why we did this is because usually players who get a little bit more flexion are encouraged to get the club shaft more so this way as opposed to more so this way, which is very, very steep. All right, so with this new top of swing position, let's see what he does around position 5. So if we take him down to position 5 and we kind of show what we did, we can see that the club shaft pitch, or basically the orientation of the club shaft, is a lot more shallow, right? So if I kind of zoom out real quick so you can see, now he's pointing this club shaft outside the ball line. Before he was pointing it inside the ball line, right? And we really simply did that just by getting better wrist conditions at the top, and it really fixed the transition move. Now, we had to have a little bit of work in transition because before this, he was doing some swings where he was, even though he's getting a better wrist condition, he was steepening it a little bit. So we had a little bit of work that we had to do there. We did a couple drills where we had him swing up, stop, and then I would support him and make sure that he couldn't get steep on the way down. Once we did about maybe 5 to 10 of those swings, though, we started to see him actually get the club shaft position that you're seeing over here. And then from this new position, what you're going to see is that the club head now is going to be entering in from a different direction. So now, obviously, for my personal preference, this is a little bit too far underneath the plane. But for a player who had this club head position, or at position 6, we're going to get him a little bit dumped under, a little bit more underneath the plane at position 6 for the short term, just so he can get rid of the opposite motion, right? So good lesson for you guys. If you guys are struggling out there with a really steep club head position at P6 or steep club shaft position, get yourself a little bit too exaggerated on the other side for maybe a couple months, then work your way back. It's a lot easier to change the swing that way as opposed to just trying to change it just a little bit. And from here, the change that made this player the most happiest is once we got him to right around here, before we had the chicken wing, and now as you can see through the ball, no chicken wing, right? So none of this chicken wing stuff through here. He's actually extending through the shot, churning a little bit better. Finish looks a lot better. And again, just really, really happy, right? Another big thing, real quickly, I want to point out is if you take a look at his trail foot right here, his right foot, we can see that in the before swing, he wasn't really pushing off of that. So that's why you kind of see the foot kind of this way. After swing, he actually started pushing off that trail foot. Now, the reason why this was the case was because before, when you're really steep and you want to continue being steep, most players are going to spin from there. They're not going to push forward that much because, again, that's a matchup. If you would have pushed forward from there, the golf club probably would have missed the ball and he would not have been a very happy golfer, right? So it was kind of a matchup for him to spin out with the steep club shaft. But now with the new club shaft position, he could have a little bit of pressure shift or a little bit of a push forward, which is, I think, very, very important for him to get his low point, or that's a fancy way of saying the bottom of the arc in front of the ball, which is what you want with irons. So in review, what are some take-home points for you guys out there? I think the biggest thing for you guys who are struggling with the steep club shaft position, an overhaul with the top of swing position is probably necessary. You probably want to get into a position that's a little bit more resembling this player over here. Make sure that club shaft is a little bit more on this fashion. Make sure the wrist is a little bit more on a flatter to slightly this fashion. And then spend some time working on the transition move, making sure you're getting rid of this element. And if anything, just going down this way, or maybe even feeling this, even though I don't recommend that for a long term, but maybe feeling that for the short term for a couple months. You guys are going to get rid of that steep club shaft. You're probably going to start seeing that chicken wing goes away. Now, if you can't do it by yourselves, that's why I'm here, right? Make sure to sign up for a lesson in Tokyo, Yokohama, Osaka. We will help you out. We do it with a bunch of players, have different types of swing issues, but again, we're very good at changing your swing issues and getting rid of them. So it's pretty much a video. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys again next time.